amazing, beautiful episode of the One Moment Podcast. And I am your boy and your co host, KO. And listen, we brought another amazing, fantastic young lady on the show today. Again, like this is her, what, second return, I think?
Yeah,
Second?
this is yeah. Mhm.
Ah. And the first time she came on, it was right before I got sick with COVID last year.
Ooh.
So I remember that one.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we had a phenomenal, phenomenal show the last time she was on. And I am looking forward to getting into today's topic and topics. I'm going to say topics plural because you know how it goes. We start off at point A, we might end at point T.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, man. So, Miss Glenda,
Mhm.
now how do you pronounce your last name again? Benavides?
Yeah, actually, right on.
Sweet. Musician. So you're a musician, you're an artist, you travel the world giving music to people, bringing music to people's ears.
Yeah. I'm an
Wow.
author too.
And an author.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Grammy
Well,
nominated last year and
did
yeah.
did you ever win? Did
No,
did,
we
did
didn't win, but we got the nomination. That's cool though.
right.
Nomination is just as cool. Mhm.
Oh, absolutely. A
Mhm.
nomination is just as cool as winning the Grammy. So we were ended up with the Astra Awards. It was out of Hollywood. We were one of eight health and wellness podcasts that were nominated
Wow.
for the number one spot. I don't know who won, but to be considered, as you said, to be nominated,
Yeah. Oh,
that
yeah.
was yeah, that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's extraordinary because, how many people do you have being in a category that is actually submitting, their work and, it can be pretty lengthy. Especially when you're in the voting process for on my end. But yeah, I mean, 4 or 5 out of, 20,000 or 1,500 or how many people submit their stuff, you just don't know. So it's 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 an accomplishment. Most people don't get that far, you know.
Right, right, absolutely. And that is a something that I think you and I both can take away from last year, and to kick off 2026 with a
Yeah.
phenomenal, show today. I mean, this is going to be the bomb.com. And so we're going to be talking about Soul on Fire. Now, when I think of Soul on Fire, I know where my thought process goes. And let's talk about it from your experience because I don't want to overshoot the mark here or undershoot the mark, either or. And I want to give respect where respect is deserved. Soul on Fire. Tell me about it.
Um, wow. So I think what it means for me, and this is kinda how it started, was s when your soul is on fire, that means to me that you have an intention, that you have something that you wanna share, that you're passionate about. You can exchange fire, passion, however you'd like. And I really felt like I with my artistic abilities, my question for myself was, if my soul is on fire and I'm passionate, where am I going? Where what trajectory are you heading towards, and so those of us that have a lot of different things that we do or that we love, or, how do you corral those kittens? How do you do that? Um, and so I kinda sat back and I said, I'm not just a singer, I'm not just an entertainer, I'm not just an author, I'm not this, there was all the things that I wasn't just, you know? And so I just thought, "How can I pull these things together and really make a difference for people?" Like, that they come in, they have an experience, and they walk away transformed on some level. And that's kind of where I was sitting with the original idea of Soul and Fire. And what did that look like? Well, that looked like I got to add music. I gotta add journaling. I gotta add visuals, like, screen on, video on screen. I gotta have voiceovers. I've gotta tell stories. I've gotta, like, those are all the things that I love. And so I really sat back and I said, let's design a show where people are having an experience, and it's not like a TED Talk, and it's not like a conference, and it's not like a concert. What is it like? And so I had created this hybrid. It's like this hybrid experience of all these things, and let me tell you, I bit off something really difficult to chew, to put together. It was really intense. It's really intense. I'm almost there. I'm almost towards the end of the editing process, and I'm gonna be launching it in March. So, my first audience will be an intimate one for, kinda like a beta test where you actually, "Okay, well, this is a great idea, and I did all the work, and let's try it. Let's see what happens. See if anybody likes it," because that's really where the rubber meets the road. Like, do they walk away with value? Do they walk away like, "Wow, I never thought about that," or walk away with, "Well, I could do that," those type of things, and that's really where I want people to be sitting. Yeah,
Uh, no, I
and
definitely.
entertained too.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And listen, if you want to
Yeah.
do this thing virtual across multiple platforms, well, we
Mm.
have the right setup for you too.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Well
Yeah.
well, let's talk about that and see how we can do that.
Right, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
because right now we are live across Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, uh, Twitch, X, and I don't have Instagram set up just because you have to keep
Mm.
connecting
TikTok.
to Instagram. Uh,
Ah,
Now we can do TikTok.
yeah,
Riverside is not directly linked up with TikTok, but we can make
yeah.
it happen. It's
That
not an
sounds
issue at all.
sounds great. I
Yeah.
love it. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
No,
Let's see if we
100%.
can really do it. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Wow. So, and I love that you brought that out because, I think it's important for people to realize and understand that. And this is what I do my best to help people understand through DBT practice is when we take a non-judgmental perspective, we are not just a therapist, or we're not just a patient, we're not just
Yeah,
a this, we're not just a that, we're more than, right?
yeah.
We are more than these labels that we give ourselves. And if we can look past those labels, uh, you know, the sky is not the limit then.
Yeah.
But if we look only at those labels, the sky is only the limit, and
Mhm.
we're not living really up to our full potential, I believe.
100%. You're right on the money, and that's one of the things that I really touted. It's like we really gotta get away from the labeling, but then how do you do that? It's like, well, everybody has different backgrounds, different belief systems, the way they grew up, but you really have to dig a little deeper than that. And I think that's what you're pointing to because, if one is self-reflective, then you can say, well, maybe that's not mine. Maybe that's a friend of mine's belief system. Why do I believe like that? Why am I afraid of that? Is that what's happening here? I'm afraid of that person because I don't know them. If you take a different approach, a different mindset, and get help sometimes with your mindset, because sometimes you can't just shift that on your own, especially if you're mired in some kind of way of being or thinking or believing, right? You just sometimes you need to reach out and say, I have this horrible habit and I hate this, and because I think that we all need that find that place of peace somewhere, especially in these times. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. No, it goes back to living authentically. That's been a huge theme for the last several weeks for some reason. I don't know why we in almost every episode it goes back to being authentic.
Mhm.
Uh, don't ask me how. I don't know. But I think it really goes back to that because think about it. If we are living past those labels, right? That
Mhm.
that I'm not just a musician, I'm not just a singer, I'm not just an author,
Right.
a writer, I'm not just a journalist, I'm not just this, I'm not just that. I am all of this plus. What do my question is, what are we truly doing in that moment when we ask those when we ask those questions, right? When we go past those ideals.
Yeah. Well, again, it's self-reflection. I mean, I really think that you have to start there. I think you just start there, right? And then maybe get into a dialogue with somebody or not a monologue. That'll keep you stuck. But, a dialogue to just like, what do I really feel like? Or how do I really perceive this? Or like just questioning one's own self values, because once you can dig and dig and dig, then you can kind of go, okay, well, this is who I am now. This is where I'm at now. And, and I want to change that. I want to shift that belief, or I want to shift that, I'm tired of living in poverty, or I'm tired of being angry at people, whatever the situation is, right? And then I think you start to hit authenticity, because or at least it allows you to get to that place. Um, because if you don't know who you are, then you're just a bunch of programs running and reacting, interact, react, react, react. It's like, wow, is that authentic? Is that, really? If you want to talk about that, right?
No, and I think you're right. I couldn't have said it any better. We're not being proactive. We're just reacting to whatever the demands of the circumstances of life is in that moment, in every given moment. And we're not, trying to plan or trying to prepare or trying to do this or trying.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's like it's almost to the point of that flight or fight syndrome is staying on. I'm either or. I'm
Mhm.
never in the middle. I'm never kind of neutral and relaxed and kind of calm. I'm never experiencing any
Mhm.
other types of emotions. I'm always that fight or flight, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Anxiety and fear versus anger, right? Anxiety and fear, anger, anxiety and fear, anger. And it's almost like I'm living on this, or I'm living in this idea of a not in the sense of bipolar disorder, but like I
Mhm.
am in a bipolar state,
Mm, 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 mm.
either or, and there's no balance there. There's no balance at all.
Yeah. Again, I think if you have the capacity for any self-reflection, any questioning, how do I want to live my life? Ask those questions, and then look around and just be quiet for a minute and go, wow, I don't like that, you know, or that person really needs to go, or I need to bring more of those type of people in, or, I really always wanted to take an art class. Why am I not? You know, it's that questioning, and then waiting for the answer. You'll know, you know?
Yeah, no, I think learning where I need to put boundaries at is a key,
Mhm,
right? Because if I'm being dragged down and bogged down, like why am I going to continue living there versus if I know that this is good for me, then
mhm,
I need to go this way, or I need to make
yeah,
decisions and go this way. And I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Elon, or maybe it was on a movie that I saw it. But it said that one of the goals in life is to surround yourself with not just all these successful people that you aspire to be like, but to surround yourself with one person. Just all you need is one that will 1000% disagree with you every step of the way and challenge you and make you mad and upset
mhm,
you and piss you off, because that person right there is the one that's going to push you to surpass your limitations versus
yeah,
everyone else.
yep, I know him really well. Uh-huh. Definitely makes you think twice about stuff. Mhm.
Right. Right, right. Well, yeah, no, I think when we surround ourselves with people, that we aspire to be like, I think that is a that can be the make or break all.
Yeah.
I heard my great grandmother years ago. She always said, and I was in the midst of active addiction when she said this, but she was
Mm.
like, "Lay down with dogs, you wake up with fleas," and I'm like,
Oh.
"What the hell are you talking about, Grandma? You are
Oh.
damn insane as hell." And years later, I'm like, "Bingo."
Yeah. Wow. Wow, that's pretty spot on. See, our elders are wise. Not all of them, but I mean, I've met young people that are extremely wise, so yeah. Wow, I think the question I had for you was, well, at first I wanted to just say, I love to talk about clarity, courage, confidence, commitment, and community. And in my world, it happens in that way. That's how it works. If you're not clear, how can you have the community? Hence what you were just talking about with the fleas. um, how can you have the community that you want? Well, you don't because you don't really know who you are, or what you want, or what you don't want, right? And so that's definitely the flow that I see things in and has worked for me in my life. And that's what I wrote about in Courage, Find Your Fire and Ignite Action in Your Life. So I wrote about that and I told my journey. And so hopefully people that'll be something that would be a takeaway for them for their own life. So that sharing those things, kind of like going back to what you were saying with, you're just not always with inspiring people, that are like on top of the world and got it all going on. What are the things that you can learn from the people around you? Because everybody really has something to share. Sometimes you have to look a little deeper, you know, but, if you look from that place, like I'm always learning or I'm always like that keeps you youthful too, keep you open-minded, being able to say, well, instead of me sitting here judging that, judge it in a different way. Judge it from a place of like, I wonder what they really meant by that, or I wonder what's going on for them, or um, this is a hard one. Having compassion for somebody else, like you're on the road, right? And they cut you off or road rage or something, and they just freaking lose their mind. And then you want to lose your mind, action, reaction, and you sit there and it's better to just stop, bring your blood pressure down and go, they must have really maybe something really bad's happened for them, or they're just eternally sad or angry and they don't know why, and you just kind of go, okay, I got it. I have compassion for that. That is where it's hard.
Right.
You know? So, yeah, yeah. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say about that.
Look, as you were talking about being cut off and all of that and driving,
Yeah.
I'm like, "Man, this woman was listening to me coming back through Atlanta last week, jeez." I said, "Oh, lordy." Oh,
Yeah.
man, yeah, hey, listen, you are right. When I'm able to practice that compassion or what have you, and I'm in the
Yeah.
midst of bumper to bumper traffic, hence Atlanta, Georgia,
Yeah.
absolute worst city to drive through ever,
Wow.
right? And, only if you heard me, I'm like, sitting there telling me, and I'm like, "I got to make another trip back to Texas." This time, I might just go back through Atlanta just to work on my patience and peace so I can work on that compassion.
Totally, totally. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I totally get it. I mean, I think, and it's here's the funny thing. We all think that way. Even the person that cut you off and is angry, they're they're sitting back going, "Why is that person so angry?" Because it happens to everybody, right?
Right, right,
On
right.
some level. And here's the cool thing is that when you stop yourself from doing that, then you make your day better and you don't pass that energy on. It's like it stops with you. He may have cut off, let's say, 4 people, right? And but one of you said, "No, I refuse to give that energy to somebody else." Right? I'm gonna stop it, you know? I'm gonna stop it now on my end. And so there's one person that changed the energy. 3 other people who knows how they had it their experience. But that's some powerful stuff right there. Now you're in the driver's seat. Bum bump.
Right. Listen, you are not lying on that one. And I think what I was told years ago, if I can catch myself
Yeah.
before I get to that point, and I'm able just to, as you said, pause or put that break or whatever. And my mentor said, always say, bless your sweet little heart.
Bless you.
Well,
That's from
if
the
you're from the
South.
South, bless your sweet little heart means
Fuck
mm,
you. No.
right.
I know, I just learned that. Well, bless
Right.
your sweet little heart.
Right. So now when I think what I say that thing, I'm like, well, dude, am I really just cursing them out on the inside? Damn, Kevin, you need some compassion in your life. Shit.
It's the intention, Kevin, so you can say it just to relieve some pressure. Yeah, bless your heart.
Right. It's the intention. Listen, my actions spoke louder than my words. I said. And
Oh, that's funny. That's good.
right, right.
Yeah,
Well, but no, I think you're right though. I think compassion goes a long way. And I think that's the thing that we're missing in society nowadays
yeah,
is compassion.
yeah,
And it's sad because there's so many things that I see that's going on, and it's like, man, like if I were to have a little bit more compassion, I could be a better human being.
yeah.
Doesn't matter, Democrat, Republican, white,
No.
black, Chinese, Applejack, doesn't matter, Christian,
Mhm.
Buddhist, whatever.
Right.
That doesn't matter.
Agreed.
So all I need is a little bit of compassion. I've been watching those Buddhist monks march
Mhm.
from or walk from
Yeah,
Fort Worth to DC somewhere, and I think it was Georgia,
yeah,
or was it Georgia or Alabama? Somewhere in one of those two states, you had people that were, and it's all over social media,
yeah.
that these were Christians, okay, Christians, and they blocked them, and they were telling the Buddhists that they need to, repent and believe in Jesus because they
Okay.
can't practice peace and they can't do this and they can't do
Mm.
that unless they actually are truly Jesus believers. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but where the fuck is the goddamn walk this back? Where the fuck is the compassion at?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
If Jesus I don't know, he'd go, "What are you doing?" He goes, this is not what I'm teaching you."
uh,
This is not what I wanted to say or whatever. I mean, who knows? There's so many
yeah.
levels on that, but yeah, I'm with you. It's like that's ridiculous. That's nonsense.
Right. You're not practicing compassion. You're not doing
Mm-mm.
this, not doing that. Like you're sitting there mocking people for trying to actually spread love and spread peace and spread compassion, and that's their way of doing it. It is
Yeah,
part of their belief system and part
yeah.
of their culture,
It's
and they
their
do it
job.
right. And
They're
they do it
Buddhists. That's what
in
they do.
absolutely. They literally will march across continents, whether
Yeah,
it's South America, the US, whether it's
yeah.
India, whether it's in the UK, Europe, Canada, doesn't matter where they're at. That's part of what they do to do
Mhm.
these long pilgrimages. That's one of the longest in the history of the US,
Yeah,
of course, but it's not their longest one ever.
yeah.
Like they
It's what I call a beautiful walking meditation, walking prayer. I mean, that's what it is, and it's a symbol of, "Hey, I'm actually doing something." You know, I'm actually standing for something, standing and walking for peace, you know? And, man, those people just need to take a look in the mirror.
right. No, I agree. I
So
couldn't agree more.
sad.
Yeah, I mean, and I see this stuff on social media, and that's another reason why we do this podcast, and that's why I'm glad that you are back on the show because we get to show what compassion is. We get to
Yeah.
criticize what people are doing, and talk about how things can be done differently and could
Yeah.
be differently moving forward.
And
Because
time is
compassion,
now. Mhm.
yeah, no, absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. Yeah, there's so many things that I think we are missing in society that if you look at Eastern cultures,
Mhm.
Mexico, India, China, Asian, and I'm gonna say Asian as far as China and
Mhm.
Taiwan, Japan, and a lot of those Asian cultures.
The Asias, yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
And if you look at Native people is another one. If you look at those Eastern cultures, they have this big community of,
Mhm.
as you said, this sense of community, this sense of
Mhm.
compassion, this sense of
Yeah.
clarity.
Mhm.
The 3 C's, and I know you said other ones too, but look at their cultures, right? You
Mhm.
have all of these. This sense of community, this sense of compassion and clarity across the board, and yet when you compare it to, you know, generations nowadays in Western civilization, where did we go wrong at? Like, what are we
Yeah.
missing? Does that make
It
sense?
yeah, it does. It's very we're very self-focused and not from a really holistic place, but, and, we're in a consumer society, we're a capitalist, country, and well, not that everybody's capitalist, but you know what I'm saying? It's like we're just focused on me, what do I need? What do I need? What do I need? Instead of what does my brother need? Or and or even again, it goes back to questioning, do I need that? Like, why am I, especially here in California and Silicon Valley area, these guys are making I mean, I remember making 6 figures is like a big deal, you know? Now you gotta make 6 and 7, just to be able to afford to live here, and you're on the little, habit what do you call it? Hobbit? Those little trails, those little things that spin with the anyway, you know what I mean? And they're
Yeah.
just, like, running and running and running for what, Like, do they even live in that, $1,000,000 house, you know? I mean, it's crazy that it's just really, really crazy. It doesn't even give you time to give you pause enough to say, "Am I happy? Do I really wanna do this? What am I here for? I'm not here to just do a bunch of things, have a bunch of kids and then call it a day," It's like, wow, there's more to you than just that. Sure, that's a good thing, that's a great thing if you wanna do that, but is there more? I mean, just to give oneself a pause to even think about that, like, is there another talent that I have? Gosh, I love working in the garden, but I never do. Those kind of things, for people, and I think if you're just running and trying to keep up with the Joneses kinda thing, then, it's not a healthy thing, and no wonder we're sick. We're sick on all levels. And then what do? You reach for solace, you reach for, reprieve, but you're doing it through either food or drugs or alcohol or whatever, because that's what you can get real quick right here, and, "Oh, I feel much better," but you're not really handling what's underneath all that, you know? It's
Mm.
like a jack in the box.
No, and
Bad.
and I think you just said a mouthful there because I mean, if you look at the Middle East, if you look at India, if you look at Asian countries, if you look at even the Native American or Native people tribes and their communities in South America, and you don't see people strung out on the side of the road
Mm,
with needles in their arm. You don't see needles over the parking over the parks or the parking lots. There's not a bunch of homeless people just living on the streets and all of that. And I get, depending on the country, it could be a third world country, but look at the quality of their life. Look at the quality of their streets, of the education,
mhm,
of the community, the sense of community there, and then compare that to the US and other Western civilizations, the UK. Um, and you'll see a huge difference. You will see a huge difference. And I think you're right. Yes, we all capitalist in some way, whether doesn't matter if you're full capitalist or partial cap, we're all capitalists. I think a huge part of that is this is a huge part of the problem. I think, and don't quote me because I'm not an expert in it, but I do think it is part of the problem. We live in an individualistic society, right? Where it's individualism versus collectivism. It's
Yeah.
and I love
Turned
that.
into narcissism.
Right, right. And I love the fact that you brought up early on, as far as uh, 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 different concepts and different principles. The problem that I see with in an individualistic society is I don't have a sense of group.
Mm,
I don't have a sense of how my decisions will impact you and everyone else.
mhm, mhm.
And I think we've gotten too far away from that. And I think
Yeah,
if we get back to that,
yeah,
that is going to be where we start to solve some of our
yeah,
crises in society.
yeah. That's really interesting, and I think it's funny because in the United States, everything is different. Cities are different versus the countryside, whatever, that type of thing. My music partner, he grew up in, Missouri, and then, of course, went to Boston later on after college and all that other stuff, but, um, yeah, he was telling me that that was just a way of life. You stopped and said hello. You knew your neighbors, you know, and it comes from a long-standing way of being and living because you could die. You got into a snowstorm or whatever, and you didn't know your neighbor, you know, and you know what I'm saying? It's like that's just a communal way of like really connecting, really taking care of each other. Doesn't mean you have to be up in everybody's business. That's one definitely a side effect, but you can still, like I have a whole neighborhood. I live in a suburb of San Francisco, and I know a couple of neighbors. I say hi to a lot of people, but do you think that they're interested in like knowing me, or are we connected at all? Or I can see how older folks too can really feel isolated. Um I fared well in COVID. I'm an only child, so being alone is like I love it. And I have a lot of things that I love to do. Like I love to read, I love to walk, I love to, watch movies, I love to write, I love to do all these things. So I was okay. Even though I'm a social person, I was okay. But I saw a lot of people that it did not work for them. Like they had anxiety, they had, because and I swear to God, this is my opinion, but I am not swear to God. The reason they did not survive it is because they don't know how to be with themselves. There was probably conversations that they didn't want to have with themselves, or behaviors or whatever that they didn't sort. And once you don't sort stuff, you will have a problem.
Mm.
And what's your underlying intention with everything? That's kind of how I look at it too. It's like, what is your intention to have a peaceful life? Do you want to have better community? Do you want to be more self-expressed? Like there's all these things. And then if you bump up against it, when you see something inside yourself or another person, you're just like, I'm jacked up about that. It's like, ooh, let's pull that mirror up, like, okay, and you go to people like you to have those conversations, to say, hey, I got some issues here and I'm really feeling on the edge. I need some support. Can you, can I have you help me with that? Especially you've walked a road yourself.
Mm. Yeah, I think having no, and I appreciate you sharing that. And I think that, you know, being able to sit with ourselves, as you said earlier, it's about reflecting, right?
Mhm,
I think that's where growth and development is.
mm,
I think that's key. And that's what I love about Soul on Fire, right? And what you were
mhm,
sharing about that. Because if I can sit with self and I can reflect and I can push myself to grow and develop and adapt and
Yeah.
all this other stuff I don't really want to do as a human being.
Exactly.
If I push myself to do all of that, the chances of me having a sense of community, clarity,
Yeah.
uh, all of that stuff, right?
Yep.
The chances of me, the chances is pretty significant. I'm gonna be pretty successful with it.
Mhm.
But I have to sit there and, as you said, I have to be able to reflect. And that means being comfortable with self.
Mhm.
And that means
Yeah.
being comfortable inside of this right here, this
Mhm.
thing right here, and
Mhm.
for those of you who are listening, I am pinching my skin, right? I have to be
Yeah.
comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. There it was so funny back, when I was in Japan, um, I was bopping around with my band. I think I was like 23, 24, or something like that last year. Just joking. Um, um, you know, they were videoing, like, you could hire somebody to walk around and video you, that type of thing, and I had that tape, and this was probably, like, I don't know, 20 years ago now, when I popped that in and looked at it, and I was so ashamed. I was so ashamed of myself. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was just walking around, being a kid, being a 22 year, 3, 4, whatever I was, right around there. Just being me, being a brat, and I was just like, I almost couldn't be with it. Like watching that. I was like horrified at what I was seeing at that person, you know. And again, it wasn't anything that I was doing or not doing. It was just where I was in that age and it shot me back and I was remembering all the things that I did and,
Mm,
with my band and all these different things. But I had to get through that. And I'm glad I saw that actually because I really got to dig into that spotlight of that moment that was probably hidden for me that I was just stepping over, you know, and just really had to be okay with it and not be so horrified or embarrassed or, you know, and it was my judgment about myself. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't hurting anybody or whatever. But it was like my Justin Bieber moment, you know.
wow.
Like horrible. Who is that? That's horrible person. So, and that had nothing to do with authenticity. I mean, that was just my personality, at the time as a kid, and, but I had to sit with that. That was challenging. Yeah. I
Mm,
almost couldn't watch it. I was like, "Ugh,
right. Well,
who is that?"
right, right. Well, and I don't know if this is something that is universal with most people or not, but I'm the same way. I can look at pictures and videos of when I was younger, and I'm like, God, I hate that. Like, I just hate
Right?
that version of me. I hated it.
Oh,
Ugh, like so disgusting and skin, so disgusting to look at. And as I sit back now, I've never actually looked at it from this perspective. So this is my first time ever unpacking this. But
yeah.
how come? Oh man, I was so ashamed, so full of fear, so full of
Yeah.
crap, full of what, full of myself too.
Totally.
Right, right. Thinking I was God's gift to women
I love it.
and I mean there's and I can keep going down the list.
Right.
Today I think I've gotten better for the most
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
Uh, where I can re-listen or rewatch a podcast recording, and I'm like,
You're okay with it. Yeah. Yeah.
I am definitely
Yeah.
absolutely okay.
Yep.
There might be some areas where I'm like, oh man, I wish I shouldn't have said that. I wish I could, but it's
Uh-huh.
like it is what it is.
Yep. See, that's brilliant, like, in that you really know how to accept yourself, you
Mm,
know? Whether it's, positive or negative, it's great. I think that's really great. That's huge, actually. Yeah.
So let me ask you this then.
Yeah.
How long did it take for you to flip that switch?
Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to hit that. Um, it took a minute 'cause I was like, "Oh my god." Um, probably a good couple of weeks, just sitting with it and just making it okay, that's who I was then and who I am now is, what was next on the journey, you're just it's like some weird acceptance, I think. That's where that was, acceptance and forgiveness. Yeah, you know. She knew not what she was doing,
She knew
Oh,
not
man.
doing.
She knew not what she was doing.
Yeah, y'all have to overlook this younger version of me, okay?
Yeah. But, when I was there and I was bopping around, I was happy, I was fine, I wasn't doing anything wrong or mad or mean or whatever, but what it did was it shot me back to that time, and you could see the narcissism in it. You could see that. You're just like, "Oh, man." You know?
Mm,
"That's embarrassing. Stop it. Stop it. You're rude." You know? It's just that energy. You're like, "Ugh," you know? And it does give you pause because then you kinda go, "Well, am I there? Am I still there? Is that a part of me? Um, how do I keep that in check? Have I evolved through that?" You know? Um, I think, as you age and as you get clearer about things, you start to have intentions, like real clear intentions. Like that's why I say clarity, because having clear intentions, like what is your intention? What's your intention for saying that? Or what's your intention for going there or doing that with that person? What's your intention? Can be anything. But what is it? Are you clear about it? Or are you just flailing around doing stupid nonsense? You know, don't I'm, in hindsight. So, make sure you don't waste your time, you know? It's you don't know when. You don't
mm,
know when it's coming.
right.
Unless, of course, you do. No, unless you're psychic. "I'm gonna die tomorrow."
Right. No, and I think it goes back to that, legacy. Ruben, I wish he was here today, on
Mm,
our show, but Ruben is a great dude, and he always talks about a legacy he wants to leave behind.
mm,
And I think you're right. I think you're right. And I think that's where Western civilization needs to go back to is,
yeah.
you know, I was told years ago to leave this world in a better place, or leave
Yep,
things in a better place than what I found it.
that's right.
And if I factored that into leaving the world in a better place than what I found it, then what can I do,
Right,
in this world to make it a better place?
right.
What do I want the world to say about me after I take my last breath?
Yeah,
And that's where reflection can come into play at, and I think that's where reflection is key.
yeah.
It's crucial in our development.
Agreed, agreed. Yeah, and that leaves you with, deeper conversations, not only with yourself, but with other people, you know, and, um and I think everybody has a legacy. Everybody has something that they came here to do, that they're creating in their world and that they wanna share on some level. Unless, of course, you're really ill or something, and you're just really messed up. Then who knows what that legacy brings. Maybe it's a warning, Think of, Nick Reiner, that's a warning. I don't know how many warnings we need to have, before somebody kills you, you know? So
Right.
it these are you gotta I'm not a parent, but, I'm just like, I get it. I watch my girlfriends and their parenting, and I'm like, "They're still walking all over you." Like, why are you continuing to give them over and over and expecting a different result? And I'm like, "Okay," you know? And so those things show up, right? especially when you have someone that's challenged or not mentally well, those kind of things. You just like, you gotta get help. Yeah, you didn't, as a parent, you didn't grow up to be a professional therapist, or psychologist or psychiatrist, get some help, you
Right,
know?
right. Yeah, no, and that reminds me of, there's a guy on social media I follow on Facebook and
Mm,
Instagram. Funny.
mm,
He's an African American dude, and his name is Latrez. He's a comedian,
okay.
and he actually will do, little video clippets of what white parents are and what black parents are. It is
I
so
love
hilarious.
it. I
God,
love it. I
God.
love it.
I was watching Wood earlier, and it was funny because he pretended, this is how white parents will be, uh, where they will holler up the steps for their child, and they'll be like, uh, "Yo, Trez, yes, hey Trez, can you come down here for a minute, please, Trez?" Right, and then the black parents will be like, "Trez, yes, huh? Get your ass down the damn steps right now."
Exactly. Exactly.
It is like, okay, listen,
Uh-huh, exactly. It's very true.
right. I mean, and there's huge differences in parenting styles, and
Uh-huh.
my mama must have been black because my mom didn't play that stuff when I was growing up.
'Cause your mama's from the South.
Right, right, right. Yeah, my mom was rough. Hey, listen, she holler for your no, she holler your name. You better be in front of her within 2 seconds because she
Right.
is. If she
Eh,
hasn't come looking for you,
mm-mm, mm-mm. It's funny, especially with boys. Right?
right, right, right. No. Wow. Oh God. But yeah, check them out. You have to
How do you
follow him.
s how do you spell it?
Latrez,
LA?
I think it's Latrez or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's what I have. Okay. That's what I
Yep,
wrote
yep,
down. That's
yep.
so funny. Okay, I love stuff like that. It's like Eddie Murphy coined all that back in the day. He's like, from his
Yeah.
what was it? Not Raw, it was before Raw when he did the whole Michael Jackson thing. It was so funny. Oh my god. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping, with Soul on Fire, I really want to um offer that to people to not only be able to come in and be entertained and have listen to music and hear stories, but also get some amazing visuals that kind of lock those things in, because I know a lot of people use different ways of learning. So some are auditory, some are visual, some are kinesthetic, that kind of thing. And so I've kind of covered all of that in my show, just to make sure that whatever's being presented, shared, can really lock in. And I did a kind of a little precursor to that. I did like maybe about a half an hour of it, with a kind of a test market, and it was really good because it's not what it is then is it's not like a a TED Talk, and it's not like a concert, and it's not like um, a workshop, but it's kind of everything all in there, and, the way I've got a flow happening. So I think it should be really fun and interesting, and I think people will really walk away with, not only a gift bag and their journal, because they get a journal, but, real sense of community and a real sense of connection, and also allowing themselves to flow with the music and enjoy the music and the messages and hear the story, see their life in the stories, and then to be able to walk away and go, "Okay, you know, I can do that," or "This is what I wanna do," "And what's next?" So, I really feel like it's gonna really it's kind of a new way of having entertainment these days. I call it edutainment, but it's a real new way of really having this multifaceted level experience. So you kind of get it all in one shot. You don't have to just go to a concert, or you don't have to just go to a TED Talk, or, a workshop. You can actually come and have all of that with my Soul on Fire. So,
Now,
yeah.
I do have to ask, are you going
Mhm.
to be traveling and doing this, or are you going to be in one spot, like a one-stop shop, where people can
No,
see you?
I'm traveling. I'm gonna be traveling, because I wanna offer this, like I said, to corporations, and to retreats and to nonprofits. So I can come in and do an hour and 40-minute show for each one of those style of people. It's kind of, coordinated for them. But, yeah, it'd be good. I don't know if you've ever seen, I don't know if you're an Apple user or not, but if you ever
Uh,
watched an Apple presentation, it's pretty on steroids, right? You're like, "Wow."
right.
Next thing you know, you can't wait to get the new iPad, you know? I need a
Right,
new
right,
phone right now. So
right.
I wanna kind of I wanna infuse that kind of experience, where you're watching, it's beautiful, it's interesting, it's informative, it has depth, but mine is not so much on products. Mine is on your transformation. So that's where that is. I guess that's a kind of a cool way of presenting that.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, yeah, and it'll be even better than an Apple present.
Yes. No requirements to purchase.
Right, right. Uh,
You'll get a gift bag. I have a nice gift bag for everybody, and my sponsors will put stuff in there, and I have a book that you'll get automatically, in a nice journal, so that you can write in.
well, now what prompted you to, put this together? I'm curious.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, I really was taking all the things that I was doing, writing a book, donating money to taking, to all the nonprofits that I work with, raising consciousness, singing my songs, telling those stories. Like I was doing all these things, but I was all doing them in different things. I thought, what would it take to actually put that all together in a one-stop shop? And then be hired by people that really want that, not like, "I'm playing down at the coffee shop," it's not like that, I'll go in and it's intentional, like, I will come in and you will have an experience, like, these are all the things that you're gonna experience and that you'll get, and then you'll have your own journey, of course, but, yeah, I mean, I just thought, "No, I'm gonna let's see if we can put it all together," and boy, I bit off a big piece of the chocolate. It's like, whoa, it's and to make it so it's beautiful and it's intentional and it flows and it's timed. So it's really, really it's cool. It's really, really cool, but it's very difficult. I'm not just showing up and singing. There's a lot involved, and and there's moments where it's paired sharing. I mean, they're not necessarily paired, but I offer the opportunity for people to share, you know, what what they want to share about their experience based on the um the sentences that pop up on the screen. Like, well, I'll have questions that people can answer for themselves privately, or they can actually share it. There'll be actual time to do that. So, yeah. And that's what I'll be back on after I get off with you. Yeah,
And that is such an amazing experience, it sounds like.
yeah.
So when are you coming to North Carolina to do it so I can be a part of it too?
I know, brother, and you just need to let me know. We need to pitch some people there and say, "Hey," and then you know what would be even cooler is if you could come in, we could do a whole live come down, you know,
Absolutely.
meet Kevin. We could do like little set up a little interview area, and talk about stuff. You could do a what do you call it? What do they call it? Live.
Live podcast, like a or face
Yeah,
a live face-to-face podcast.
Yeah, like when you know how like and the Grammys and all the other award shows, they'll have like the people set up and then they can come by and they can either interview them as they walk by or they can do a private thing. They have those like in a, so that would be really cool.
No,
I mean,
absolutely.
we could
So
totally design that.
North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, or Virginia.
Okay.
Those 4 states. Any I could do Georgia, but, not
That's
just
okay. We don't need to do Georgia. That's all right.
Atlanta. I'm not an Atlanta person. DC, absolutely. Let's go ahead and roll with it too.
Okay.
So anywhere between Georgia and DC and Tennessee.
All right.
Yes.
Well, we should talk offline about that, but yeah, let's set something up. I think people would really, really, really benefit.
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, we're mixing in entertainment and mental health
Yes,
related, and absolutely people will love
100%. They would totally get there. If I sent you, I'm gonna send you the questions. When I send you some of the questions that will pop up, you're gonna go, "Oh, I'm digging this. This is good." You know? And after we're done, here's the beautiful thing, is that then you'll have an opportunity not only to meet you, Kevin, but to meet me, and we can also help guide them to what they want next. What is it that I mean, I have, like, a list of people, and I'm sure you do too in your business. It's like, "Well, come and see me. Here's my number. Set up an appointment. I'll coach you. I'll talk you through this," or whatever. Um, that's one of the things that I wanna do is support my community, support the people that's what they do. I'm not a coach, I'm not a health practitioner, I'm not, a psychologist or psychiatrist, but I know these people, and if you need support, I want to support my community and guide you with options to choose what might work for you the best. Maybe you just need to do shadow work. Maybe you just want to do that. I know some people for that. Maybe you want to, learn more meditation. Maybe you need something a little deeper, you know? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like I think that's and then we're supporting community. So not it's not just only us, it's us and, others, right? And I think that's how we're gonna come together, that's how we're gonna heal, that's how we're gonna uplift each other, you know? And the more people there's probably always gonna be somebody that's gonna sit in the dark, and that's just the way they want it. Okay, fine. But there are people out there that really, really want something new, and I know that's what I'm offering. I'm offering this hybrid experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, and I think it really speaks to what your little son says, music, unity, and
Yeah.
action,
That's right.
because it's about bridging gaps.
That's
Like, who
right.
would have ever thunk that, and I say thunk because that's an actual word, right?
Yeah.
It is.
Yes.
If not, then it's a new word that we're creating right now.
It's fine.
Uh,
Who'da
who
thunk?
yeah, who would ever thunk that music would be mixing with a mental health podcast,
Right.
spread awareness on a global scale?
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. And it does because music is really healing. So, and
right.
I'll be down at Grammys, February 2nd. I'm not gonna actually go to the show because you can watch it on TV, but, but
Hmm,
I've got people that I'm gonna be connecting with down there and, fabulous artists and going to a Grammy luncheon. So I'll be doing that, and these are fabulous artists that are really standing for health and wellness, through art, through music. So they're my peeps, and I'll be definitely reconnecting with them and, promoting Soul on Fire and, you know, so and I see this happening worldwide. I mean, I'd love to start in the South. I think that would be wonderful. Everybody needs it. It's not just one group, but, I wanna go where spirit wants me to go because I feel like that's where that's where we need to go, you know?
wow.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. We got to start somewhere, and I think bridging that gap and bringing people hope, I think that is important because if you look at what the Buddhist monks are doing in the
Mhm.
US, they have been able to bridge so many gaps with so many people
Yeah.
along the way. And it's been a very spiritual and emotional journey thus far.
Mhm.
Watch it on unfold on social media.
Yeah.
And so I think by doing something like you're talking about, and I think that's going to continue to bridge that gap,
Yeah.
whether it's employment and, soul on fire, mental health, soul on fire, hope, soul on fire, right? There's so many gaps that can be, bridged alone.
Yeah.
And we need that. Like we need more people who are willing to step up to the plate
Yeah.
to do something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and have the courage and, what we saw with the Buddhists, I mean, that's brave. They're brave. That's bravery in action right there. My girlfriend Atlanta, she she went out to see them. She set up with her little sign, they caught her on camera and she was just like and it really shifted her, Um, not that she was always a lovely person, so that's not it, but there's something that happened to her on a deeper level. She was so excited about it. She's like, "Glenda, ah," and she had to share with me, and she was sending me a video, and, there was something about that experience that lit a fire inside her spirit, just being a part of it and watching it. It's like, "What more do you want? That's great." You know? She who knows what I need she actually called me and said, "Can we talk?" I'm like, "Okay." So, I'll find out more in a few minutes. How did it change your life?
Right, and, I was on the way back from Texas when they came through this neck of the woods, so I'm like,
Okay.
"Oh, really?" I had to
Wow.
miss something, but now I was in Texas for another spiritual, moment,
Oh, wonderful.
yeah, yeah, so I'm waiting on that phone call to, go back to Texas. Hopefully, within the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'll be going back to Texas, and this time I'll be out there for a little bit, um so unfortunately, I missed the Buddhist monks, but they literally came right by. Like literally, I think they were 15 minutes from where I currently reside.
Oh my oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay. That's
literally, they
awesome.
were 15,
I
approximately
wonder
50, yeah,
I
about
wonder
15
what
road.
I wonder what they're gonna do if that snowstorm happens. My gosh.
Listen, I don't think the snowstorm is going to happen. That's number one.
Really?
Okay, yeah, no, absolutely. Look, how many times they will sit there and say that it's going to snow this, that, and the third, blase, blase,
Yeah.
blase, blase, and it never does.
Never does?
It
Okay.
never does. It absolutely never does. And rarely does it. Now, sometimes they get it right sometimes, but that's like 5-10% chance that they actually get it right.
It makes you wonder, like, if the stores called and said, "Okay, we really need to push this so we can sell this stuff off the shelves." Wha There's a plan.
Hey, listen, that could be it.
It
That
makes you wonder, like, "Oh my god, there's no more bread."
right, right. Yeah. Supply and demand.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. You freak people out fast enough, you're gonna you'll sell out fast.
From Texas all the way to DC and Connecticut, man,
Dang.
major, winter storm. Let's push this narrative and
Oh
and
my god.
and
And
sell out.
those big, generators and stuff like that. Oh my god. People are I'm sure they've just flown off the shelf at $700 a piece or more. Big
Right.
gen I'm like, "Gonna put that in your house?" Like, you know,
Where you gonna put it in
people
the
found
house?
dead.
Right, right. Kerosene heaters are sold out, right?
Oh my
All of this stuff
god.
is just yeah, right.
Get some
And
candles and a
then
blanket.
right, and
Calm
then
down.
most important thing now, okay, now let's not forget the most important thing that is sold out. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready. I know what you're
ABC
gonna
stuff.
say.
It's the liquor.
It's liquor.
Right.
It's
Go
heaven.
go to any ABC store from Texas to Connecticut and Maine.
Oh my
Guarantee
god.
you the shelves are going to be almost practically virtually empty.
Oh my goodness. You know what? This is gonna send their numbers up.
Right.
Like, right? It's gonna, like, everybody's being frugal, and then everybody's like, "God, I'm just not selling this stuff out. Like, it's really a slow month. Let's get a snowstorm."
Right, right, right,
They got together and
right.
they planned it.
Merry Christmas 2026, January.
Exactly. Oh my god. Better than Black Friday.
Right,
Everything's sold out, everything.
right, right.
Oh, man.
I know what you did last winter.
I know what you did last winter. I wouldn't put it past them. Let's say we're having a down January. We need to, sell this get this stuff off the shelf.
Yeah, yeah, right, right.
Call the
look,
radio station, TV station.
right, right. It is. Hey, listen, it's going to be a whole new episode of on the One Moment Podcast. I know what you did last
Why
winter.
do I have 2,400 toilet paper rolls in my backyard? In the
Right.
in the storage unit, Like,
Yeah,
well,
right, right. Does toilet paper can you just, like, eat toilet paper now, or
oh
do
my
you wrap it around a
god.
bulb and it just creates electricity when your power's out? Like, what
Right?
why do we sell out toilet paper first?
That's so crazy because it's like, we only it's not gonna be down for a month,
Right,
right? I mean, if you went to Costco and you bought all that big thing of toilet paper, you're fine, calm down, you got at least, 3 months,
right,
unless you know, overuse
right.
it or something.
No, absolutely, absolutely, and it's why the toilet paper first? Why? And I
I
don't
don't
get it. Why? You did the doctors and the freaking news people say that we're gonna have explosive diarrhea for the
I
next 2 or 3 days?
I know that's what you were thinking, right? Anybody out there listening, you should write in. Tell us your thoughts. Why do you think there's a run on toilet paper?
Why do you think toilet paper sold out? What's your thoughts? Email us one moment pllc@gmail.com.
That's right. Oh, man, help us.
Right, help me, make it make sense. I understand the kerosene heaters, the generators, the bread and the milk.
Yeah.
Completely understand.
Again, I'm gonna weave this right back into our conversation. So, that, again, is people not thinking about other people,
Oh, that's a good one.
right?
Good one.
When you go into the store and you're feeling panicked and fearful, and you grab a big thing of toilet paper, and then you wanna grab another one, you might probably think, "You know what? That person right over there might need that. Let
Mhm.
me share." What happened to sharing?
Sharing is caring.
Yep.
No, absolutely. And it kinda really makes me think of it's not a zombie apocalypse we're going through where it's
No, no.
for himself, right?
Yeah,
Uh, and how do we survive as a human species because we take care of
yeah.
one another?
That's right. That's right.
Mm.
Brilliantly said. Mhm.
I cannot wait for us to get kick this thing off. Soul on fire.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. So listen, let me ask you this then. All right. What is one thing you want somebody to take away from this?
That there is always a way forward, always. And you just need to allow yourself to explore who you are and create your own intentions, your own foundation, and live from that place and get some help if you need help. That's it.
Mm,
And you'll discover yourself. You'll discover more about you, what you want, what you don't want. and, and start thinking more in terms of we instead of me, and how you can really take your gifts and make a difference for somebody else. What is that? It could be opening a door, it could be working at a food bank, it could be, just saying hi to a neighbor, like having a 10-minute conversation with them. Ask them, do they need anything? Do they need some help? That's it.
Mm,
We can all do a little bit better with each other.
beautifully said. I couldn't agree more.
Thanks.
Now, where can people find your music, your book?
Mm.
Where can people find all that?
Yeah, I'm everywhere, but, if you just go to glendamusic.com, pretty simple, Glenda music.com. Um, yeah, you can j there's everything on there. There's talking about Grammys, you'll see pictures, you'll see videos, you'll see this when it goes up. You can, purchase anything. I mean, I have all my stuff is I mean, directly it'll direct you, like, if you wanna buy my book or whatever, it'll direct you to Amazon and my store and all this other stuff, so, and anytime that you purchase anything, I do take, a small percentage, usually a dollar, and I go plant a tree with 1 tree planted, and they're out of Vermont, so they're great. We've planted about 400 trees now all over the world.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Wow.
counting, so
It's beautiful.
yeah, it's I
So,
get to do something and help you help others, so
wow. So, listen, I do appreciate it. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming back and looking forward to having you on again. Because you know you have to come back, right?
yeah, okay. Well, what I'd like to do is when I come back, we're doing a live with my live performance, Soul on Fire, and I get to see you in
Let,
person.
let's rock and roll with it. Let's
By
do
the
it.
way, ladies, he's very handsome.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, I sincerely and humbly do appreciate it.
Mm,
Always a
mm,
privilege and an honor, man.
always. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on.
Anytime. I'm going to end the live, so don't hang up.